Hello and welcome. I'm Katie Schroeder, and today I'm talking with Kate Turner, the office manager at the Ingham County Animal Shelter. Kate, how are you doing today?
Doing great. How about you?
I'm doing well. So, can you talk a little bit about the Ingham County Animal Shelter and the process of how families can adopt pets this holiday season with them?
Absolutely. So, Ingham County Animal Control, we are way more than just animal control. And you think of the dog catcher and all that negative stuff. We are actually a full service animal adoption center as well. So, we have adoptable dogs and cats all the time here at the shelter. And we would love to put one of our pets into your home, especially going into the holidays. This is a great time to adopt, especially, I mean, silver lining with all of the work from home things that are happening these days is people are home more. They can take care of the pets. This is a great time if you're like, well, I don't have time for a new dog. I wouldn't be home to train it. Well, guess what? You're home now. So we can make it work. We have dogs and cats available for adoption, and we have no control over what dogs and cats we get in. So, unlike other animal rescue centers, which are fantastic organizations, sometimes they pull animals from other states and other organizations. We primarily get animals right from our community. So animals that come in as strays, or if their owners aren't able to take care of them anymore, if they surrender them up to us here at the shelter, then we're able to do our temperament evaluations, do our health screenings on them, and try to find the next best home for them. So right now I know we've got about 4 or 5 dogs available for adoption and a couple dozen cats or so, and they're just looking for new forever homes.
Yeah. So, as far obviously, I know you talked about like how you don't maybe have too many dogs, but you have a
Mhm.
handful of cats, it sounds like. What measures does the shelter have in place to protect both the employees and like families that could potentially be looking for to give one of these dogs or cats a forever home?
Well, as far as COVID precautions are going, all the staff members wear wearing masks. If we're in the public areas, all the clerks are wearing masks, and we have shields up. We have restrictions for how many people are allowed in a space at a time. We're letting people kind of do some more one-on-one time with the animals instead of having a counselor right there in the room with them. We're just kind of watching outside the door to make sure everything's going okay. So we definitely want to make sure people feel safe and comfortable coming in. We're doing all of our sanitations. I mean, dogs still slobber and there's still cat hair. We can't fix everything, but we are definitely being precautious just to make sure that it's a safe environment for people to find that next forever pet.
Yes, slobber and hair is definitely something that the should be introduced to if they are looking for an animal because they definitely have that. I have two dogs, so I understand. Um, so why should people adopt from the shelter?
you People should adopt from a shelter because there's nothing wrong with these pets. It's not like you're going to be inheriting a dog with all these terrible bad behaviors, or it's somebody's leftover pet that was too unmanageable to handle. I mean, yes, they come from unknown backgrounds. We don't know where they came from, but they can still be fantastic pets. And especially if you want to get a dog or a cat that's beyond that kitten or puppy stage, which is, trust me, I mean, it's cute for the first 5 minutes, but after they're like still chewing all of your shoes a month later, it gets a little old. You can find an animal that's past that point in its life, that can sleep through the night, that's potty trained, all those things that you want your dog or cat to be past. We can help find that perfect pet for you.
Yeah. So, for people that are looking to adopt, adopting obviously is a big decision, adopting a
Mhm.
pet. What should people consider before adopting and bringing this new pet into their home?
Definitely make sure that you have the time for it and have the commitment to take care of them year round. I know, like I said, a lot of people are home more right now, but if you know that you're going to be moving soon, or you're going to be coming back into the office 40, 50 hours a week in a couple of months, unless you're still committed to spending that time with your pet and to give them all the exercise and all those energy things, make sure that this is going to be a good long-term fit for you, not just a right now fit. If right now is all you can really commit, we definitely have a foster program so that it doesn't commit you to the life of the pet for forever and ever. But if it's a good fit for right now, we can absolutely work with that and be part of our foster parent program. Another thing to consider is, oh, sorry, I had something in my head and I lost it there for a quick second. Um, oh yeah, especially getting this time of year, we're getting closer to winter. Potty training in the winter can be a little bit tougher because you have to commit to that. You're going to be spending time outside, especially with the dog, to make sure that they're going potty. So if that really high energy border collie or pointer or pitty or something that needs 5 miles of walking every day, that's fantastic in June. Well, are you really going to be prepared for that in January when there's a foot of snow on the ground and your hair is freezing? So just keep in mind what you're going to be committing to year round.
Yes. So, for families that have allergies and need to go, I guess first of all, actually, for families that do have allergies, and that maybe they're not sure if like unless they get the dog in the home to see if it will work, is there like I guess like a grace period, like if you do take the dog home and just something like doesn't work?
Well, we'll always take the pet back. That's actually part of our adoption contract. Is if for whatever reason it doesn't work out in your household, we want the animal brought back to our shelter because we've made the commitment to the long-term placement of that pet. Now, if there's some first-time pet owners are out there, or they're just I'm not sure if this is going to be just right for me. We're going to be doing our Home for the Holiday foster program here in a couple of weeks. It's that time of year between Christmas and New Year's where a lot of businesses are closed, the shelter hours are reduced. If we're not here that whole time, we might as well get the animals out into homes. That 2 week period is a really good time to test run. There's no commitment to adopt. You're not signing away for the rest of this pet's life. You're signing on for 2 weeks. So that's a really great test period to see, hey, are the kids really going to be able to help take care of the animal? Can we walk this dog regularly? Is Susie going to be allergic? That's a really good window to test things out without making a full lifetime commitment.
Yes. So additionally to going back to like the question that I was starting to ask but then didn't. For families that do have allergies and need to search for a pet outside of a shelter because they know like I need a dog that doesn't shed. I know my parents, they're allergic, so both of our dogs don't shed and they're non-allergenic. But what research and what should they know before they just purchase like a pet?
Especially with the designer mixed breeds, not all of them are actually hypoallergenic. So poodles are known for a lower shed coat. You cross that with a golden retriever, just because it has golden doodle at the end, it doesn't mean it's not going to shed like a golden retriever. It also depends on what you're allergic to. Absolutely talk with your physician, but if you're allergic to, say, saliva, well, it doesn't matter whether it's a hairless dog or not. If it's still going to lick you, you're still going to have an allergic reaction. So talk with your physician about what medications they might be able to give you to manage the symptoms. If they say like absolutely no pets, I mean, you have to do what's right for you because it's going to be a good fit for you and the animal. Just don't get caught in the trap of those doodle cross mix and schnoodle cross mixes, because they can still shed, and just because it's a designer breed doesn't mean it's hypoallergenic.
Yes, and definitely totally the saliva thing. I personally have a Shorkie and like she has the smush snout. So sometimes she'll sneeze and she sneezed in my mom's eyes more times than I can count. And my poor mom, her eye just like
Mhm.
gets so irritated from that. But what are some red flags people may see from breeders that aren't responsible or overbreeding, or even like I know they have like puppy shops some places.
Mhm.
What are some red flags people should be aware of?
Definitely keep an eye out for the age of the animal that you're looking to adopt, the conditions that they're kept in, and make sure that you get to see where mom and dad are kept. Now, not everybody has dad on site, but the breeder should still have the mom available. So if you're just meeting at a pet store, like, hey, here are two puppies, or come on over. Oh, I just have this litter of puppies in the box. Make sure you see where they have been raised and where mom is, because not all behaviors are learned. Some of them are inherited. So if mom is unfriendly or reactive, or dad is aggressive, there is a chance that those behavior traits are going to be your new puppy is going to be more genetically predisposed to those traits. You can also watch out for if they have multiple types of puppies available for adoption or for purchase at the same time. Most responsible breeders will only have one or two litters through a year. They don't specialize in more than one breed. But if you're talking to a breeder and they say, I have a Yorkie, I have a Maltipoo, I have a Bashan, and I also have 3 Cocker Spaniels, you're like, well, that's a lot of different puppies at the same time. Where are they coming from? Because having that many litters of puppies at once is a little bit more work than the typical person is going to be able to handle responsibly. You also want to make sure that they're of the right age when they're being rehomed. It's actually illegal to rehome a pet under the age of 8 weeks. So if somebody is trying to sell a 5-week-old puppy, that's unless there's been a medical emergency with the mother, that's too young for them to get pulled away. So they're somebody might be trying to make a quick buck instead of trying to do what's best for the long-term care of that animal. So there's just some things to kind of watch out for.
Yes. As far as having litters like back to back and whatnot, like if let's say you see puppies and they're like, yeah, these are all homed, but there'll be another one and whatnot. Is there a time that there should be waited before like the mother has another litter of puppies to ensure like the puppies are healthy, the mom is healthy? Like, can you talk about that a little?
I mean, a veterinarian may different veterinarians have different recommendations. From what I've heard and experienced, no more than one litter a year from the same mom, and even then, waiting a year in between. So a 5-year-old female dog shouldn't have had 5 litters already. That's definitely a signal to overbreeding.
Yeah. So does the shelter offer recommendations for responsible breeders or places that are good for people to search for if they do have someone that comes in and takes a dog and's like, yeah, I need something that isn't like gonna like drive me crazy. I have love that I want to give an animal, but
No, we absolutely work with a lot of breed rescues in the area. When we get dogs in, if for whatever reason they're just not a good fit for shelter life, which to no fault of their own, some dogs handle living in a shelter just fine, some dogs don't. If there's an animal that's just not meshing well with shelter life, we definitely work with a lot of breed specific rescues and breed based rescues. So small breed dogs, specialty Weimaraners, golden retrievers, things like that, that if they're just not handling the shelter, we do send those animals out to the breed specific rescue. And we can definitely make recommendations like, hey, we've worked with this rescue before. You might want to contact them to see if they've got anything available for adoption. Another common way to look for specific breeds of animals is through petfinder.com. You can search by your zip code and by the type of animal that you're looking for, be it just a small breed dog or a specific breed of cat, whatever it is, you can kind of filter your searches to see if there's anything available in your area.
yeah. So what can the community do right now to support the shelter? Obviously during COVID, and then you talked about like the holiday home program. What else like does the shelter need right now for support with the community?
Well, we definitely want to make sure that we are having a good relationship with the community. So, I mean, any donation is always fantastic. We're going to be running a program here in a couple weeks for a holiday stuff the truck event on December 18th. We're going to have animal control trucks out at a couple of different pet stores that we're just going to be collecting supplies for community families in need. We run a food bank program and a low cost supply outreach center, which unfortunately the outreach centers had to be closed for most of the year with the COVID precautions. But we want to be able, there are families that truly rely on that center and they've been missing that resource. So we're trying to collect stuff for those families, deliver them for Christmas, and just make sure that people know that we're still trying to help. If we can help you out, we'd much rather be helping somebody than having to pull the law enforcement side on things.
Yeah, so sure. Is there anything else you'd like anyone to know about anything that we've talked about? Adopting from the shelter, adopting from a breeder, or just the holiday season and the general?
Well, just remember, I mean, a pet is for forever. I mean, you're making a 5, 10, 15-year commitment on that pet, depending on the age of it. Make sure that if it's a good time right now, that it's still going to be a good time later and make those good long-term choices. We're not going to say, oh, you're going to be moving in 2 years when you're done with college. You can't have a pet right now. We'll just maybe encourage a foster program instead, just to make sure that you're in the right place at the right time when you make that forever commitment.
Yes, thank you so much, Kate.
Of course.